Hello, everyone. I'm your host, John Clarence Gomez, and welcome to the John Clarence Gomez Show. And today I have a co-host, a special guest co-host today, which is Shayna Dean Wroe, who is my friend from the USA. She is an actress also who did many local community theater show on her area. Hi, China. Hello. Can you introduce yourself, China, to our listeners?
Of course, JC. Hi, Luca. Hi, JC. My name is Shayna. I am a playwright. I'm an actress slash actor, and I also do a little of everything. But mostly, I read a lot of plays. 36 plays so far, something like
Wow.
that. But either way, that's my passion. I write plays and I do acting, and I really appreciate anyone who inspires me. So thank you for joining us, Luca.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Hi, Luca. Welcome to the Dunk Times Gomez Show. Can you introduce yourself to our listeners?
Hi, I'm Luca Dinardo. I am a creative and a performer. I'm currently living in the UK, been here for just over 2 years. Um, and yeah,
That's
Thank
wonderful.
you.
I love the UK.
Yes, that's wonderful. China, what answer will you ask
Okay.
to
Oh,
her?
yes. So, Luca, our first question is: who inspired you to become a theater actress and dancer?
oh, who? Well, I watched musicals from a very young age, and it didn't really click that I wanted to do it. I was just like, I love it, I enjoy it, I love dancing. And then I saw Wicked. I saw Wicked, and I was lucky enough to be in Billy Elliot when I was a child. So having the experience and seeing what it's like really inspired me. And I thought, you know what? I actually think I really want to do this. And then I saw Wicked in the same year, and I think that musical is what made me and my sister think like, oh, we're doing this. Like this is what we want to do. I was 12 or 13, so I was very young, but it definitely started from then. So I wouldn't say there was someone, but it was definitely Wicked the musical. Even though I
Oh,
was already doing a musical, I just as a child you just don't realize what you're really getting yourself into. So that experience and Wicked really set me up.
that's fantastic. We're doing that show
That's
today. I
nice.
wrote I wrote a show of it.
Yes, that's
Go ahead,
fantastic.
JC.
What is the first professional theater production you did in Australia?
Well, it would have been Billy Elliot when I was a child, 12, 13. But as a professional adult, my first job was Bring It On. That was at the Athenaeum in Melbourne. Um, yeah, I was dance captain ensemble. I had never done dance captain before. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was like, what the job entails. So I really learned a lot on the job, even though I didn't realize that I was ready for it, but I put into practice the tools that I already knew when I was in the job doing it.
How did you go to the West End and who encouraged you to go there?
It's been a while. It's been a few years. I started becoming a creative in Australia, and I thought, you know what, this is amazing, but I feel like I'm gonna get to a point where I'm a bit itchy. I'm a bit like I just need to do a little bit more. And my sister's lived in New York for now, I think 13, 14 years. So I've always had the feeling and taste of traveling overseas and wanting to do that. So it was about 8 years in the making, really. From just the thought to actually doing it. It took about 8 years. Obviously, COVID affected it, which is why it's a bit longer. Um, and so yeah, I wanted to move to London without any job, but I just wanted to move. And I moved in April, and by October that year, I had found out that I had booked Hamilton for the West End. So it was actually quite a short period of time. Um, who encouraged me? My mum, my dad, my sister, my family, my teachers. They were very sad and they understood. My sister was always for it because she lives in New York. Um, so the encouragement came with a lot of sadness, but they knew that this is what I wanted and needed. And, you know, they always say ever wanted to come home, they welcome me with open arms. So I'm very supported here. Yeah.
That's so fantastic.
Mm.
Such a great
Yes.
story.
Yeah.
Luca, as a dancer and a performer on West End, what
Mm.
challenges have you met?
I've met a lot. The probably the biggest challenge is being a swing. You don't really know if you want to do it until you're doing it, and it's a really hard job to learn when the pressure's on to be able to deliver when you're trying to figure out even if you want to be a swing. And so even though I had been a swing before the West End, it just brought up a lot of, I guess, unresolved feelings. I don't want to use the word trauma, but it definitely was still sitting in my body from past years of performing where I'm not even contracted as a swing, but I'm thrown on stage as a creative because there's nobody left. And I don't know the show, and it's like those nightmares that you have no idea what you're doing. And so I think the biggest challenge was accepting a swing job, knowing my job and knowing I'm good at it. But when you're on stage and things are happening, you have to mentally psych yourself out of it, walk yourself through it, and then physically get through the show without hurting anybody and making sure that you do a good job. So I think that would be the hardest challenge I've had being in the West End. I feel like the company I've worked for so far in the West End have been so wonderful that they have truly made the change from the Australian industry to the West End effortless, truly.
What is the experience of performing in Hamilton on the West End? What is the experience on West End?
Did she disconnect? Oh boy.
Hello?
Hello, yes.
Hello,
What
you.
is the
Sorry, I lost you.
Ah,
I'm back.
yes,
okay.
yes,
I'm at
yes.
work.
We understand that. What
Great.
is the experience in performing on Hamilton on West End?
I mean, apart from obviously, as I said, the challenges that I was facing just doing my job, the feeling is unmatched. You know, when you make your West End debut, you feel electric, you feel elated, you feel so energized. Adrenaline is crazy. You know, I felt so shaky, but so focused at the same time. Like I felt like I was invincible for 3 hours. um, and obviously, it does become a job. So the feeling of being on the West End stage versus an Australian stage doesn't feel much different because once you're on the job, like when you don't see what the audience sees, do you know what I mean? Like you're doing the thing. So it feels quite similar, but I do feel like the reward is more. And I feel like on the West End, because it's so well known, that it's just respected in a different way. And you feel that on stage.
That's incredible. Luca, in your opinion, which is the best place to work as a theater performer in the UK or in Austria?
I think for different reasons. I mean, Australia, it's such a small industry that when you do book a job and you do a great job at it, you are known quite quickly. And so booking another job it doesn't feel quite hard. When you move to London and you become a very small fish in a very big pond, even if you've booked a single job, it doesn't mean you're going to book anything else. You have to keep proving yourself and showing up and hustling and training and it's a consistent thing because in the West End and in the UK it can span your whole life. Like your career can be a very long time if you do it right. And so there's great things for both. I don't know if I would have an answer, but I think there's um there's big differences.
Can you tell us about the Dinardo training and how can it help performers?
Great. So the Dinardo Training is a program I've recently created for the purpose of continuing to train post college, post full time. Um, we get a lot of training at such a young age, and then it kind of feels like when you graduate, you have to hold that for the rest of your career and hope that that it stays. And just like singing lessons, I still get singing lessons at 30 years old when I'm on the West End. So it's like the singing lessons continue and you go to dance class, but that dance class is not a one-on-one experience like a singing lesson. And I thought, I feel like I should start something because I love educating, I love teaching, I love sharing. It's a big part of who I am and what I do um, when I'm not performing. It's like the consistent thing. Obviously, contracts come and go, but my teaching is quite consistent throughout the years. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to start my own program where I get to have that one-on-one training with jazz performers, whether they've just graduated from college, whether they're like in between contracts, 5 years into their career. It's just to touch base and to remind us of what's important and to also brush up skills that you may not have used in a long time. When you're contracted and you're booked, you only use a very specific set of skills that you know. And unless you continue training the things you don't use, they can fall away quite quickly. So I think a lot of people even get scared to come to dance class because they're like, oh, I haven't taken a dance class in 4 or 5 years because I've been booked. I've been on tour. I've been on the West End. So then they fear going to class because they feel like they're just less than. So this is the program for anyone who, yeah, has trained in the past and needs to be reminded of the training.
That's incredible. Luca, this is a question about
Yes.
dancers. Do you have any
Mhm.
good advice for dancers in the world around us that tend to get hurt easily by rejection, etc.?
I was talking about this the other day to someone that you do have to create such a thick skin for our industry to be able to deal with rejection, to deal with change, to deal with insecurities, to deal with comparison. Like there's so many things that you just have to keep a tab on, and then it doesn't overwhelm you too much. And the biggest advice I can give is I just feel like a lot of dancers, as performers, but dancers give a lot of their uh, a lot of their confidence and their um, knowledge of who they are to the panel. They give it away too quickly. And I think that, as a creative myself, I want to see dancers and performers that come in and they're like, this is who I am. Take it or leave it. I can be right for you and I can be so wrong for you. But I'm going to remember that as a creative and I'm going to think, you know what, you're not right for this job, but I know exactly what job you're right for. And when that comes, the first person I'm going to think of is you. Rather than a performer coming in being like, I can adapt, I can be whatever you need me to be, but then you're not really anything. You're just kind of another body in the room. So I just say strong and wrong, strong and right. Like commit. I'm the biggest fan, supporter, um, believer in just commit to the thing that you're doing. Go all out. 100%, 150% do it. Do it the best you can wherever you're at because nothing is a fail. And I feel like, especially in this day and age with social media, people are scared to try, people are scared to fail. But, you know, I was trying to do acrobatics when I was a kid and I broke my arm, and that wasn't a fail. I realized to not do that again, and now I can do the flips because I learned. Do you know what I mean? It's like nothing's a fail unless you don't try. So that's my biggest advice to any dancer, any performer, any age.
That's amazing.
Y- Yes, that's amazing. So here's the last question. Do you have an upcoming event or show that you want to promote to our listeners, mostly from the UK and Europe? Like, for example, like dance class or an event or a show.
Yeah. So the Dinardo training, the submissions are now closed for the first season, but if you follow the Dinardo training on Instagram, I will be having more seasons coming up. I also teach in the UK. I teach in London at the Manor at 1 p.m. on Fridays for an hour and a half. It's a jazz class. It's different kinds of jazz every single week. Um, I'm also doing another job. Oh, actually, I can't spoil. Can't really announce that yet, so let's just leave that one.
Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much to our guest today, Luca Dinardo. Australian actress in West End. And thank you for having you to this podcast. And and we had a great and nice chat with you. Yes.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Good luck with the rest of your seasons of your podcast. Lovely to meet you both. And I hope you have a
Yes.
beautiful day.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Also, I want to tell you that China have a promotion also. Do you want to promote your upcoming work? Because she is a
Yes.
playwright. What work that you want to promote to us, China?
Um, my work I'm currently working on is called based off the hit video game called Diablo, and it is actually a survival evil versus good war, and someone caught in the middle trying to balance things out. But my most recent work that I'm promoting is Wicked Wizard. I have combined Wizard of Oz with Wicked, and this is right up your alley, Luca. This is up anyone's alley who loves Wizard of Wicked. And I've combined the two into one show, and I made a sequel, and we're doing that today. Today I play Elphaba, so I'm very excited. Woohoo!
Yes. Thank you,
Amazing.
Luca and Shaina for being in my podcast. Thank you, Shaina, for being the co-host, and thank you, Luca, for being my guest. Have a nice
I
chat
had fun.
to both
Thank you so
of
much.
you. So it's time to say goodbye now. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you
Yes,
so much.
bye.
Bye.
This is the Clarence Gomez Show, and I declare that this episode is now signing off. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.